Hello everyone, I would like to share two stories today. One thought makes a great difference. During the South and North Dynasty, there lived a man named Yan Gong. He was born into a rich family in Quan State, and he was an only child. His parents loved him so much that no matter what he asked for, he would never be disappointed. At the beginning period of Taijian of Chen Country, Yan Gong was only 18 years old. He asked his father to give him 50 taels of silver to buy things in Yan State. After he got the silver, he was on the way to the north by boat. While traveling for a dozen miles this way, he saw a boat in the river carrying a lot of sea turtles, which were brought to the market to sell. Yan Gong asked the owner how much does it cost for one turtle. The owner saw Yan Gong came from a rich family, and he intended to raise the price even higher. But in the end, Yan Gong gave him all the silver and bought all of the sea turtles. After receiving the turtles, he released all in the river. He then returned home empty-handed. The turtle merchant was quite happy to have so much money until his boat was halfway overturned in the river. The boat sank all the way to the bottom of the river, and so did the owner. On the same day, at dusk, 50 visitors came to Yan Gong's home. They asked to stay the night in his house, and at the same time they gave 50 taels of silver to Yan Gong's father. One of them said, "Your son in Yan State asked us to bring 50 taels of silver to you." The father immediately thought that his son had died, and he kept asking whether his son was still alive. The answer was always yes. He was perfectly fine. With great suspicion, his father accepted the silver. To his surprise, all the silvers were wet. The next day, all the visitors left. 1 month later, Yan Gong returned home. His parents were so happy to see him, but criticized him for sending the money back home, telling him he should not have done so. Upon hearing this, Yan Gong told his parents that he never asked anyone to send money home. He told them half he had saved the turtles with the silver they gave him. The father was shocked after hearing his son telling him this. They realized that the 50 visitors were exactly the 50 turtles he saved. From then on, his family became even wealthier, and the whole family moved to Yan State. The second story. During the reign of Emperor Yan Gong of the Qing Dynasty, a 10-year-old boy named Ji Xiaolan was with his grandmother, staying away from the summer heat in Shuiming Tower of the manor in south of Hangzhou. Shuiming Tower was located on a river cliff, and the building overlooked the Wei River, and one could see boats sailing coming and going under guardrail. One day, when Ji Xiaolan opened a window in his room and looked south, he saw a dozen men and women boarding a ferry. Suddenly, someone on the boat raised a fist and punched an old man down into shallow water near the shore. The old man's clothes and shoes were all wet, and he struggled to stand up, shouting angrily. By this time, the ship had already left the shore. This happened not long after heavy rain, and the Wei River suddenly rose, surging loudly and flooding its banks. As the water was rising, a grain-carrying ship was sailing downstream with the current, as fast as an arrow flies from a bowstring, and in no time it hit the ferry. The ferry was shattered immediately. Dozens of people on board fell into the water, and no one survived. Only the old man, who was punched down into the water, escaped. When he saw this, the old man was shocked and immediately put his palms together to recite a chant to the Buddha. Afterwards, someone asked the old man where he was going. He said, I heard yesterday that Clan brother received 20 taels of silver in return for selling his child bride as a concubine to other people. They will sign the contract today. I hurriedly mortgaged my land to others for 20 taels of silver, which I will use to buy the girl back. I did not expect what happened today. Everyone heard it, and they all praised him. The feast upon you must have been made by the messenger of God. So everyone hurried to find another ferry boat to send the old man across the river right away. These two stories tell us that kind thought and kind acts not only save others, but also ourselves. If everyone had a kind heart, the world would be totally different. Thank you very much for listening to the story. More touching stories will be ready for you if you just subscribe it. Thank you again.